The views and opinions expressed on InTouch are those of the guests and do not necessarily reflect the official party or position of Backyard Broadcasting. Any content provided by our guests are of their opinion, and they are not intended to malign a religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual, or anyone or anything. Good morning and welcome to InTouch, a Sunday morning public affairs show dedicated to the health and welfare of the Susquehanna Valley residents. I'm your host, Joie Michaels. Join us at this time as we interview difference makers in the community who want to help make the Susquehanna Valley a better place. Welcome Alice Fox, president of the New Love Center located in Jersey Shore, serving those who are food insecure right here in our area. Let's turn to our interview with Alice Fox on InTouch, a production of Backyard Broadcasting.
So, let me start by introducing myself. I'm Alice Fox Klein, and I'm board president of the New Love Center, which is centered in Jersey Shore and other areas. We cover, let me go back and say who we are and what we do. We are a food pantry and cafe. We have a number of programs within our agency, and we're a partner with the Central Pennsylvania Food Bank. And so our goal is really to feed people. That's what we're about. And we have a wonderful volunteer base that helps us with that mission. So when we think about food insecurity, let me just say that if you look at food insecurity in the state of Pennsylvania alone, in Lycoming County, 1 in 4 is food insecure. And 1 in 4 in Clinton County and 1 in 5 in Lycoming County. And in the state of Pennsylvania, 1 in 6 are food insecure. Now, what does that mean?
Just going to ask you, what does that mean? You have me curious.
Great question. Food insecurity is, do I know where my next meal is coming from? Or do I know where my meal is coming for tomorrow? And if I have children, how am I going to feed them? Yes, if they go to school, they may be part of a reduced or free lunch program. But when you look at what happened during the pandemic, when the schools weren't open, they could go to the school and some of them could, depending on the school district, pick up a bagged lunch. But that was a bagged lunch. And let's talk about then how do we feed our kids the rest of the time and over the weekend. So we're multifaceted in that we have a pantry program, which we feed people that live in our coverage area. And that's a real important thing. We cover from Linden to Flemington and up to Renova. So we actually cover 2 counties. In Jersey Shore, the distribution for pantry, which means they get a box of food once a month for 3 meals for 3 days. Now, you may say, gee, that's not very much food. Well, in the box is a menu, and it will even give you a recipe of what to do with it, what's in the box. So it's very inclusive. And then on top of that, that's just the box, but the other add-ons are milk, eggs, all kinds of fruits and vegetables. So you may have strawberries or grapes, potatoes, baked goods. So and then there's also meat. So there's a whole raft of, raft is probably not a good word, but there's a whole group of foods that you get in addition to the box. So that's the pantry, and that's done on the 2nd and 4th Fridays of the month. And then we have the cafe. And our cafe is a hot meal 5 days a week, Monday through Friday from 11 to 12:30. And that's at Trinity United Methodist Church in Uptown Jersey Shore. The pantry, let me go back, is done at St. John Lutheran Church in downtown Jersey Shore. Then we have the backpack program, which has a backpack for children, and they have to sign up for this in the school. But we're currently serving about 200 children that they're given a bag of food on Fridays for the weekend. So it has things that it's easy for children to either microwave or just pop open a can, like fruit, pudding, that type of thing for children. So those are our major programs when you look at it. And then we have a pop-up pantry in Lock Haven, which serves the Lock Haven area. That's done once a month, and that is, again, a box of food and then fresh fruits and vegetables, eggs, milk, that type of thing. We're very focused on nutritious food. So in the past, I think food banks have thought, okay, I can give people mac and cheese or other things, but what we're looking for is nutritious, healthy food. And then we do a pop-up pantry in Lock Haven. We do one in Renova. And then we also have our military share, which the American Legion in Jersey Shore does that once a month. And then the other little thing we have is, which I think is pretty neat, is our peanut butter and jelly giveaway. Is that the week after we've done distribution, we have a cart out front of the pantry in Jersey Shore, and in it has a bag of bread, peanut butter, and jelly, and people can just go and pick it out of the bag or out of the cart and take that. You don't have to sign up or anything else like that. You just come and get it. So, and that's a really great snack for people who have children, and you don't have to sign up or you don't have to produce any information about you at all. You just drive up and take it.
And what day is that again?
That's always on the first Monday after the second Friday that we've done distribution. So we do distribution on the second Friday of the month, and then the following Monday is when we do peanut butter and jelly.
Oh, wow.
So you can see that what we're doing is actually feeding those who are food insecure. And it's actually, with the pandemic, it just we were doing on the average of maybe 350 families, households, and now we've probably are doing rather around 800 to 900.
Oh, that's amazing. That's a beautiful thing. And now you feed all ages?
Yes.
And do you
Yes.
have any shut-ins, like the older adults, the older folks?
We have a senior box program that has done very well. Now, we do not deliver food, so I want to make sure that people understand that. But our senior box program, several years ago, the Central Pennsylvania Food Bank called us and said, would you be willing to take over the senior box program, because it just fits in with you doing actual distribution. And so we started out with about 30 seniors, and now we're doing about 100 to 110 seniors that come in, are registered for the senior box program. So along with the regular box that they would get, they also get a special box that's packed by the Central Pennsylvania Food Bank. We don't pack that box, but what we do is distribute it.
Right. That in itself is amazing, because I know that my mom, when she needed her food, it was tough to get her the low salt, and they be real specific. When she asked for macaroni and cheese, this is what she wanted, but this is what she was supposed to have.
Right. And we see that a lot. That's why, as much as we can, we order low salt, low sodium vegetables. That's why we have a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables for clients too. I mean, that's, again, it's all based on nutrition. So that has definitely changed. I can remember when we started out, which was 6.5 years ago, it was about 6 years into the program, we said we want to make sure that people have the availability of good protein, such as milk and eggs. And that's what we started with. Now it's pretty much universal that's what the food banks give. But we really started, our basis was, let's really give people good, nutritious food. So starting with the milk and eggs and fresh fruits and vegetables.
What's your view on volunteering? How can somebody get involved?
Really good question. We have a very good volunteer program. If you go to our website, which is www.foodbank.com, thenewlovecenter.com. We actually have an application there that you can fill out, and our volunteer coordinator will actually call you and fit you into where you want to do. And what kind of volunteer activities do we have? Well, I think there's a couple of things. You can help with distribution or packing boxes. If you want to work at the cafe to help prepare the food, we have a cook that is Serve Safe certified, and she oversees all the preparation of food. A lot of people like that. They can go in the kitchen and they can chop up vegetables. The neat thing about our cafe right now and how our cook is working is that she makes sure that there's always a fruit. Yes, there's a dessert, but we don't overload people with desserts. So there's a fresh fruit, and none of the food that she prepares is fried. It's baked. So here again, it's our transition to nutritious food and cutting down on the fats and the sugars.
How long have you guys been around?
We've only been around 6.5 years. What occurred was there was another agency that had the Love Center, and they gave the ministerium 2 weeks notice and said, in 2 weeks we're closing our doors. And this is probably one of the neatest things in my experience is that the churches and the community all came together. So this was a great ecumenical and community-minded decision to have the new Love Center. The interesting thing is that when we said we were starting, we told the churches that we were working in, St. John and Trinity United Methodist, that we'd only probably be there a year. We're 6.5 years, we're still there. But on the other side of that, we have recently purchased land that's between Avis and Woolwich, and we've purchased 4 acres, and we have plans for a food hub where we're going to bring all our programs together under one roof. The cafe, the backpack, the distribution, so that will all be in one place. And then the other thing is that we recently purchased and renovated the old South Avis Elementary School, and there we have a new program that we're working with Geisinger, is what we call the Fresh Food Pharmacy. And that has been offered to diabetics who are food insecure. They are screened by Geisinger and then approved for the program. They can come in, they can actually shop and get their food there free of charge. And then the Geisinger program manages many other parts of their diabetes. Our part is just providing the food. And what we have seen from their clients is that they've dropped their A1C, and their A1C is a retrospective view of how their blood sugars have been 3 months prior to them having their blood drawn. And it's great to hear how people may have started out with a 12 or a 13 A1C and have come down to like 6.7. The normal A1C is like 4.5 or 5 to 6.5 to 7, and people have gone from 13 or 12 down to 6.5. That's phenomenal. And what that does is lowers their risk for a lot of the problems that diabetics have, the long-term problems they have.
I'm dying to ask, how did you get started? How did this start? What made it tick? I mean, in other words, what got this ball rolling to the beautiful thing it is right now?
Well, that's such a great question. And what got it started was a community that saw people in need and they wanted to help. And the other thing that we could not do without is our volunteers. They are absolutely fabulous. When you look at the average amount of volunteer hours we have in a month, it's nothing to have 800 volunteer hours a month. Now, I'm not good at this, but there are people who say to me, if you looked at that many volunteer hours, that equates to 4 or 5 FTEs, which is full-time employees. And we just hired our first full-time employee, which is an operations manager. And so we're excited about that. Other than that, we have had part-time people. We have run a very lean, what we always jokingly say, we've run a very lean machine. With our volunteers and our part-time employees, which we only have 4. We have cook, which I've talked about. We have a person that assists the cook and does the cleaning at Trinity where we're at. And then we have 2 part-time cooks, and then we have a part-time administrative assistant, and she works also with the fresh food pharmacy with Geisinger. So we've been very lean, and that's because, in part, we've had wonderful volunteers. And I can't say enough about our volunteers. They're just super, super people.
Very nice. Is there anybody you'd like to mention? I mean, you feel free to.
No, I don't want to mention one volunteer over another. That would be really no. I would be asking for trouble with that, Joey.
Goodness, yes. But no, it is an amazing thing. So, in a nutshell,
Sure.
people can join. People can get involved.
Absolutely.
And people can also accept your help. So, in a nutshell, how does that happen?
It's very interesting. People will say, and our vice president said this a number of months ago, and I think it's so true. The people that need us know who we are. The people that don't need us, that are our potential donors, don't know who we are, because we have sort of been the best kept secret around, because word of mouth is very good, and we have Facebook and that kind of thing to say who we are. The most important thing, our goal is to see that people are fed. And I can't stress that enough. We look at people, we have an emergency number that people can call. We have our website, we have Facebook. And really it's somebody saying, I need help. It was very interesting. I was working with the Lock Haven pop-up, and a woman said to me, this was during the pandemic, and she said, I never thought, my husband has worked 34 years for this company and has never been laid off. I've done part-time work and I've never been laid off, and we're both faced with being laid off, and I've never thought I had to come for food. And I said, this is our ministry. This is who we are. And so we're just grateful that people come. I think word of mouth has been a great way to do it. And as we've grown and partnered with different organizations, they can see the need that's out there. Like I said, 1 in 4 and 1 in 5 and 1 in 6 had people call and say, or come and say, I hate to do this. And I can say, I can understand that. Nobody wants to ask for help. But I think the earmark of our program has been how we treat people. And, if people say to me, I've had to come to the food bank, and I always say, well, what's your experience been? Because we want to know. And people will say to me, I've been treated so well. We're a Christian ministry, okay? Our tagline is, where the love of Christ provides for all. And that's our motto, and that's what we go by. And so we're not here to put anybody down. We actually have, the churches they are just wonderful, because we put out a list every month of the things coming up that we're going to need as donations. And so we have, I don't know how many churches that will have a box in the back of their sanctuary, and people can put food in, and once a month they bring it to us. And so we have a huge help in the sense that whatever you can do. So I think that it's whether you donate food, you donate money, or most important, that you pray for this organization and the people that use it. I was talking to a lady the other week, and she said to me, I made $2 more than I could get for food stamps. So she applied for food stamps, but she was $2 over the limit. And she has lung cancer. And she said, I don't know what I'd do without this program. And, my statement to her is, that's what we're here for. For the people who are marginally taken care of, and that's what we see all the time. There's so much hidden homelessness and people who are food insecure that we don't even understand or see. Right. And I think that everybody who comes, I'm quoting a volunteer who looked at me one day and she said, you know what, Alice? And I said, what? And she said, this is my happy place. And I was like, wow. I mean, that's what our volunteers feel. They come, they volunteer, and they go home, and they feel like they have done something. And they have. They have done something for their community. They have done something for an individual. And that is a real blessing. We don't always get those opportunities.
Thanks to Alice Fox, president of the New Love Center. She and her brave volunteers are a gift and a blessing to the food insecure in our area. You can find her online. Look her up today and check out, see how you could volunteer or you could use her services. It's thenewlovecenter.com. Thanks for listening. I'm Joie Michaels, and this has been a production of Backyard Broadcasting. The views and opinions expressed on InTouch are those of the guests and do not necessarily reflect the official party or position of Backyard Broadcasting. Any content provided by our guests are of their opinion, and they are not intended to malign a religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual, or anyone or anything.